Pecan Crunch oat milk latte. Sounds terrible. It is not. Pretty good drink. You know, there's few things, want to know why I love the fall, so I just dropped Ollie off at ball practice. They're outside, it almost forces you to just relax, right? You get the leaves turning. It's a nice, cool evening. Wonderful beverage. I was tired today. I get up this morning. Now, Amy was sick when she got home. We talk about, I know, I work as hard as I can, right? That's just the way it is. I put in, I was always taught that you get out what you put in. It's not always the truth, but it's a good start. And it's good words to live by, I think. And my wife makes me look lazy. We get home Saturday night late, got up Sunday, she was sick, throwing up, felt terrible, stayed in bed all day Sunday. I went to the races on Sunday night. And, when you spend the week at the sale, it's a lot of work, but it's different work, right? It's mental work. You're trying to make sure that the horse that you see on the page and the horse that you saw in the video is the horse that you're looking at. Is there any imperfections you missed? You're double and triple checking that. Is this the horse you want to bid on? What price? And I keep telling you guys when you're at the sale, that constant ebb and flow of your adrenaline, just dumping and charging and dumping and charging. You're trying to do the best you can at the sale. Get the horses you want. When you get them, you're super excited, and as you saw on day one, and I think day two, both with the trotter we wanted and the pacer we wanted, disappointed. But none of that matters, because they'll all be judged next summer, right? It's funny because you're in Lexington, you're saying, I bid on that horse, I bid on that, I was the underbidder on that horse. And, a lot of the times you're like, well, nice horse, or, you're quietly thanking unanswered prayers at the time. It's a great game, and that's why. Anyway, Amy was down and out for 2 days. She's better tonight, feeling good. Her sister's birthday is this week, so she's going back to Ontario. She's going to spend Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday with her sister, and I get to play single dad. Wednesday, I'm not racing. Wasn't really planned that way. It's just the way it played out. Thursday's going to be a little tricky. We have 4 horses in the meadows. The kids are in school. Ava's going to Cedar Point. Now, Friday, the kids are off. And Friday, that's going to be a tricky one at the stable. Now, I'll get to why. I'll tell you why right now. Then I'll get to how the horses prepared this morning. This morning, when I get up, as I said, we'll get to that in a second. Friday, we have horses entered at Dayton. We have horses entered at the Meadows. We have horses racing at night at Northfield. Now, this time of year, the Meadows races on Friday afternoon, but not this Friday. They start at 5 o'clock. 3 different racetracks. I'm leaning towards the Meadows because time is on my side, is prepping for the Breeders' Crown. Now, a couple of side notes in this video. First side note is we have booked a box at the Meadowlands for the Breeders' Crown. Now, you may say, why? Memento Mori, time is on my side, Tactical Mounds. The stable.ca will have 3 very talented horses racing in the Breeders' Crown eliminations. Now, those boxes are booked for the finals, so it'd be great if something get in the final. And even if they don't, and you're in town, I know John and Julia were going to the Meadowlands for the Breeders' Crown final night, Friday and Saturday. Forgive me if I'm wrong, 24, 25, 25, 26, something like that, the Friday and Saturday. And we have a box. I didn't even tell Kelly yet. We have a box rented. I think the cost is about, don't quote me, but I think it's $120 a person. Is that right? I think so, yes. I think it was $98, and then it was a little bit extra, and then I could say, well, we get a box that fits, I think, 12 to 15 people. I thought it was worth it. It's right up top. You're right on top of the track. I've been in those boxes. They're beautiful. So, and then obviously there's food and everything there too. So, I don't know if it's extra. I don't think it is. I think it's like a buffet style, but I could be wrong. It should be a lot of fun. And I don't know what we're going to do, how we're going to finagle all that, put it all together, but we'll see. So that's the first side note. Now the second side note is Wendy worked all morning. Now I got up. Amy, still just trying her best to get over the flu, needed to stay in bed. But got up, got the kids ready, got their lunches ready. I took them to school, and she went back to bed smartly. She's fine tonight, which is good. I dropped the kids off around 7:45, and I went to Starbucks. I went and got. I did not get this drink, by the way. Not a bad drink. No, pecan latte, not bad. I had one a couple of weeks ago. I didn't mind, and it fits in with fall, right? Somebody said, "Oh, I gotta go to the pumpkin patch. I gotta get decorations." I hate Halloween so much. Hate Halloween with a passion. It's just a useless day on the way to Christmas. That's what it is. It's just, I know, and Curtis loves like dressing up and fooling around, and we'll take the kids out trick or treating or whatever. But I am the Halloween Scrooge. I do not like to dress up for Halloween. I have no interest in doing it. Mostly a useless day. And before you ask, yes, I did like Halloween when I was a kid. I just, the fondness of it wore off. So, so the second note was I got the kids to school at 8:05. Now I'm going to tell you everything after 8:05. It took me 6 minutes and 45 seconds to get here, but here we are. I dropped the kids off 7:45. Talked to Wendy on the phone first. She was working away at the shares, and there'll be 3 side notes. The first side note is thank you all very much. Now I ended up with shares in 4 horses, and 3 of them still have shares for sale on the market. So what do I know? Everybody bought all the shares out. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for doing that and partnering with us on this. It means a lot. For the other 3 people, I'm going to reach out to some people, see if I can't get especially the Walner filly. A little surprised that people left the Walner filly up there. It's dual eligible, and it's a well-bred filly and a beautiful filly too. Beautiful filly. Anyway, whatever. And then the Ontario bred, I know Blue Rare sold out. I did keep a piece of Blue Rare because I like the filly. Jason and Joey went with her today. They said she went great and they really liked her. I only caught a glimpse of her. I was on the front side coming on the track with Pickpocket Sister. Don't Ask Again. And they were on the backside finishing up their jogging trip with Blue Rare, and she looked good from across a distance. They said she looked really good. Now riding the rodeo, I'm going to reach out to a number of our Ontario clients and see if they want to partner on that one also. And then Steve's horse is going to be going up for sale also, and I call him Steve's horse because it's a horse that he picked out. I want to buy a chunk of that horse also. Muscle Mass trotting colt, lifting something. You guys know the. I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. But when it comes to this particular horse, I liked him a lot. It was just one of those things where if Steve left me alone for a while or I left Steve alone for a while, we would catch up to one another throughout the sale and say, hey, I'm looking at this horse coming up, and it would be the exact same horse the other person was looking at. So Lifting Legend is the 12th foal brother to Will Take Charge and that entire family. We know that family very well. We have at least 2 of our horses are in this family. The one that's most recent is in here too. I can't find it. All it's shown is Intermittent Hanover. All the good horses. They're showing all the good horses. So a pedigree I really, really like, and he got the horse grossly discounted. He's going to be on the site too tomorrow probably for sale. But I want to reach out to all my Ontario partners and see if we can't get these all bought up and put to bed. So it gives me an opportunity to a fresh look at Harrisburg and say, okay, is there an appetite to get a high-end pacer or trotter for Ontario? Not to say these horses aren't, but Blue Rare was 32. If I thought she was worth more, great, which I did. Lifting Legend I thought was worth a lot more, but again, $17,000 purchase. And Riding the Rodeo, a pacing filly. We don't have a pacing colt yet for Ontario. Food for thought. So help me get this stuff cleaned up for Ontario, and we'll look at maybe a pacing colt in Harrisburg for Ontario, or in London for that matter, wherever it might be. So that's my plan with Ontario. Now I will say this is important. Everybody I know I've been rambling. Just take a minute. Listen to what I'm saying. I have to get Eric to put a hold on the Lexington share. I see a lot of people selling their shares, putting their shares up for sale for the Lexington horses. I need everybody to understand. Just take a deep breath and listen to what I'm about to tell you. The shipping and other attributed costs to the Lexington sale have not been added to those horses yet. So if you sell that horse, you will still be billed for the shipping and the sale costs that are going to be put on there. We didn't bake them into the price this year. It just seemed tedious. It just seemed tedious up front. We had buckets. We knew what the horses were. We fit them in the buckets. But there is going to be shipping and some the cost for the show and the cost for me being down there. It's not expensive, but it still is a little bit. And if you're only making a little bit on the sale to begin with, well, you're really making none. So I am going to have Eric put a hold on those. That's why the holds are still in Ohio, because all the final charges are not in yet. But I did want to make sure everybody understood that. We can reverse them. Tomorrow, if you wake up and you see this video, you're like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm really sorry. Not a big deal. We can reverse the transaction, but I need everybody to understand that it's a real thing. So, I was at Ollie's still at baseball practice, and I'd said that the other day, and somebody said, Anthony, I thought you said baseball was over. So, continuing on the trend with not shying away from work, my son has made it as difficult as he can for us. He's 11, but he's still a young kid, and I still want him to have fun in every aspect of life. He doesn't need to get the real taste of life we all get later on. That it's not as easy as our parents make it look, and it's difficult sometimes. And Oliver has opted to stay in Ontario to play baseball. So we did it last year, and we're going to do it again this year coming up. It is very taxing on Amy and I. Every second Friday, Ollie has to get out of school at noon to make a 6 o'clock practice, a 5:30, 5:40 practice in Ontario. And then right after that, they come back home. Well, I stay over. It's next day, Saturday. And plays baseball in Ontario in the summer. But because he can't make all the practices in Ontario, we're always bringing him for hitting practice or pitching or fielding practice. Well, there's a team here, and one of the coaches, one of the places he goes for his batting stuff, said, hey, would Oliver play on my fall ball team, my travel team, which is also going to play baseball next summer? I said, well, Coach Ramirez, I said, Ollie's opted to play baseball, committed to playing baseball in Ontario, so he can't commit. And that was the problem. He played 2 years ago. He played on two teams. He was happy, but the Ohio team needed a little more of a commitment from him, and he just couldn't give it. So he couldn't play on that team last year. Well, this gentleman had said, here's the deal. Play on the fall ball team, practice all winter with us. We're going to help Oliver become a better player. And next summer, when he's in Ohio, when he's free, I'd appreciate it if he played with us. And we won't ask for any more commitment than that, which was super fair. So that's exactly what Ollie is going to do. He's practicing now. He's a baseball tournament this weekend. So Friday, I have to, in my complete, just chalk it up to forest for the trees. I've talked about this and talked about this and talked about this. Nobody noticed. Finally, I just thought about it. Corbin starts Sunday. Gorgeous Package races for $100,000 on Sunday night. I'm not going to Corbin on Sunday. So Scotty said he might go. He didn't know who was going to be there. I don't think he's in love with a couple of horses. Gymboree raced okay. Little flat, right? Grand Slam Dio raced okay. Listen, for Robert and all my partners, I want to be there. And I'll be there next week. But I can't. I really have to. I can only be in one place at one time, right? Unfortunately, they don't have Uber in Corbin, so they most definitely don't have an international airport. So I can't make it back. I've sent an email to Batman. He has not got back to me if the Batmobile is free on Sunday. I'm going to go with it probably isn't. So I have to pick one place or the other, and it's going to be Northfield Park Sunday evening. A huge update, actually. And I apologize it's taken the 15-minute mark to get to it. Figured out exactly what happened with Freedom Hill. Showed a little bit of blood last night. In fact, a little bit of blood in the fact that it was still present this morning when she was there. $8 breakfast. She's a trooper. But that's probably why she looked a little flat when Dave Pallone drove her. Then if you remember, I come back and drove her, but when I drove her, right, we only went like 2 minutes or 59. She walked around the track and jogged. And then Brett drove her. She was flat from the 8-hole. Couldn't scope her that day. The vet wasn't there. There was no vet around. Just chalked it up to bad trip, bad track. Maybe she was slipping. Remember, I told you it looked like she was maybe slipping. Drew her blood, but it didn't show in her blood. We drew her blood 3 days ago. Now, the markers that we'd see for a horse that bled would be a high bilirubin sometimes. Maybe you see a white count jump. There was nothing evident in her blood that would make us bleed, because we were thinking maybe she was sick. She likely bled a little bit. Bled a little bit last night also, especially when you go a scorching fast half in front of her. That'll do it. So we're going to race her on Lasix for the final. And you might say, geez, that's a little harsh. Not really. I told you she was feeling good coming in. She warmed up really good. I was shocked that she was a little flat, and I tried to quantify it by saying, well, big half in front of her, and then the horse disappeared. Wind hit her down the backstretch. She just fizzled out. That wasn't the core problem at all. We'll have her good for next Saturday, as I said to you. Now, for the gamblers out there, you might notice that more times than not, when horses go on Lasix, it's the second time Lasix are really good. You're right. It's sometimes. But we don't have that opportunity here. So we're going to work with what we have, do the best we can. Freedom Hill will be the best she can be next Saturday. As I said to everybody, so will Gorgeous Package. So, that's it in a nutshell. When it goes to baseball, Ollie's playing this weekend. So Thursday, I got to run around. See, Amy's in Ontario with her sister. She deserves to be gone for 4 days if she needs to, and it bothers her a lot because she's a mom, right? And I'm going to have to play single dad for 3 or 4 days. Wednesday, I'm not racing. Thursday, we're going to try and figure it all out and play it by ear, see what happens. I'll make a plan by Thursday for that. Friday, I think myself and the kids will go to post time's 5 o'clock. I'll be home by 10. And then Saturday morning, up early, 50-minute drive to Sandusky. And I told the kids we go to the water park on Saturday. Now, I know if Aunt Lily gets in Saturday night in the $300,000 final, of course I'm going to come back and drive Aunt Lily in the final. Of course I am. And then the Saturday night, so we're going to play all day, watch the baseball, go to the water park. Amy will be back Saturday afternoon. I'll go race Saturday night if needed, hopefully needed, and be back in Sandusky that evening. Sunday night will be our consolations and Corbin. So much going on. I didn't even tell you about the preps this morning. Pickpocket trained great. Did show a little bit of blood. So when we enter 2 horses in Friday in Dayton, the preference will be given to Brace for Landing. Now, this isn't shocking for as I said to you, I'm learning a lot as we go about the subjective behavior of bleeding in horses, especially the horses that are on Lasix. We've seen some of them not bleed at all, and other ones bleeding, just no rhyme or reason for it. Pickpocket trained at 56 2 weeks ago and didn't show a drop of blood. Today showed a little bit. He's back in 4 days. It would be a little rough. He can overcome it. He could do it. If they both get in, fine. But if there's one horse gets in Dayton, it'll be Brace for Landing. Pickpocket will race. I'll race him somewhere. It'll either be at Northfield. I can't believe how good he's getting around this track right now. It'll either be at Northfield or the Meadows or somewhere. We'll get him raced. I almost had it in the back of my head, maybe Corbin. But now, training this morning on a small amount of Lasix and showing a little bit of blood, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a little bit concerning. So again, these are things that are rattling around in my head, things I have to talk to Jason about and Eric about and the vet about. So a lot going on in that regard. Now, as I said, the other 2 horses, Captain Incredible was fantastic this morning. 2-2 last quarter in 28 seconds. Knees, good. Green light from the vet. We got to work on his ankles. We got a few little things we're working on. We're going to prep him. Obviously, it's just not quite enough time to have him right. It would be unfair to him to ask him to be ready in 2 weeks to race against the best horses in the world. So we are going to aim for the Governor's Cup and the Matron, and that's only if we continue to get green lights all the way down this street. Today, green light. Work on his front legs. One splint was bothering him. There was some heat in his legs. We're going to work on that. Get his ankles done. Then we're gonna look to either qualify him or school him and race him. I don't know if it's 45 days or not. It's coming up on it. So we'll look for something maybe next week or the week after at the Meadows. We still have every intention of prepping him and getting him ready for the final. But his knees were accelerated, and that was only through the diligent care of Dr. Latessa that this horse's knees are now in a green lit position other than a cautionary position. And then Pelican Owl, 2.9 last half and 103, pacing much better, stronger than I remember him now. Now we got to get him back in a group. It doesn't matter. He's still a month from racing, but I like what I see in Pelicanel now. Really, really happy with what I see in that horse. So that was what went on this morning. We went with all the babies. It was an overcast, miserable day. It's turned into a beautiful night, but it was an overcast, miserable day. And we didn't get any videos. It was windy. We had just enough people walking horses up the track. I'm going with the ones by myself. Jason and Joey are going with theirs in tandem, like normal humans. I'm not going to say I don't ever have a problem. Of course, there's horses that can kick or act up, but they're all very good, usually. I never had any issues at all today. Very pleased with the horses I saw. Hanger 1, I went with. Don't Ask Again, I went with. Captain Doolittle, I went with. All those horses look very, very good. I think I went with 9. Trying to think of the other ones. Degas. I bring her up because she was my pick of the horses we got. This is one that I was waiting for, came up, and I got it. And the most interesting part was I got it for exactly what exactly what I paid, what I pegged her at before the sale. Now, you look at well, here's the list right in front of me. I can tell you who I went with. What the hell's wrong with me? I didn't go with Neuromancer today. He was laying down a little bit, and there is a little sickness in the barn, as you can imagine. Horses coming in from everywhere. Jolene Hall went with Jason. I saw her go. She looked great. Lifting Legend did not go this morning. Again, a little snot in his nose. Riding the Rodeo, Jason said went great. Joey said he liked her a lot. Blue Rare, they went with her. She was very good. Degas, I went with Degas. I love that filly. Perfect Thought did not go today. Mild temperature. Just want to nip that in the bud. Steady Volo was good. You guys didn't meet Steady Volo yet. You will soon. I went with Rico Tubbs. Rico Tubbs was very good. Jailbird Jog was very good today. I went with her. Captain Doolittle, I went with him. Don't Ask Again, I went with her. Solidarity, I went with him. He's an ornery little bugger, and he's one of those horses we're not going to be able to geld. He's just kind of bred a little too good to be gelding him until we absolutely have to. Now, we waited till the end of the season for Time Is On My Side. Probably the same thing you're going to see take place here with this guy. He's just bred too well. This is the Tall Dark Stranger colt out of Kissing in the Sand. If people weren't down on Tall Dark Stranger, we wouldn't be talking about this horse right now. He's a $200,000-$300,000 colt. Love Sensation, I didn't go with. I'll tell you who I went with. In New York, Kings County's brother looks great. I was thoroughly pleased with what I saw. From this colt today. I didn't know what he was like. We didn't break Kings County. Obviously, we bought him as a 4-year-old. This is one spunky bugger, and he is chunky for a chimpanzee. Very, very thick colt. I loved what I saw. Probably one of my favorite horses to go with today. Now, it's preliminary. It's the first time they've ever been hooked in their life. Sweet Lake looked good. Royal Flush Deal was sick today. A lot of mucus and a little temperature. He was off, and I went with Hanger 1. I thought he looked great. Also, you want to see a very talented colt? Go back and watch on the card where Memento Mori set the world record was race 8. Watch race 10. Go Dog Go is the full brother to Hanger 1, and I have no idea how fast this horse was going to go, but he was going to probably break the world record. We would have had a world record for colts and geldings. I think it was 50-4, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it wasn't 5 lengths he was going to win by. I think he was. He would have given it a run. I can tell you that. It was going to be one hell of a mile. Go Dog Go, I think, has 200,000 or something on his card now, maybe 250. And that's the full brother to Hanger 1, the horse that we bought on day 1. So that was today in a nutshell. We still have horses racing tonight. We have horses. I forgot all about that. We have 3 horses racing tonight, if I'm not mistaken. 2 together, though. You know how I feel about that. We have... Tonight we have All Gas No Brakes at 7:10, and then we have Looks Like Money and Yo Mister at 10:15. Tomorrow we have Sunset Acres Girl, Tenacious Hanover, and then on Wednesday we have 3 Point Blue Chip and Serious Dragon. Serious Dragon 9-2. Brett's driving him. Good. First start on Lasix for Serious Dragon also. So that's what went on today. That's what went on this afternoon, this evening. I am a little more recharged. Got a little help from Starbucks and a little tiny cat nap at 4 o'clock. I'm sharp as a tack again right now. We have a lot of work ahead of us, both in the barn. You got to get the barn all set up and ready to go for the fall, and continue to make alterations throughout the fall, cosmetic in the barn, and then the horses, getting all the horses jogged and trained and ready to go. And this is a time of year when there's a lot of sickness around everywhere. We didn't see a ton of it yet. Jason said he saw a little more snot in Gorgeous Package's nose today, so we're going to continue to work on that. She's eating, she's feeling good, so I don't think it's anything too serious right now, but it's something we have to work on. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Good luck to all my partners tonight in the open, or the top, is it the top class? The preferred, looks like money, and Yo Mister, and of course, All Gas No Brakes has been on fire lately. Hope you can keep that going tonight. So with that, I'm going to let you go. A long update. I thought it was going to be a short update. It is a long update. For those of you that have fallen asleep, I apologize. For those of you that haven't, you're all caught up. Take care.